Welcome to the Million Pound Mission Podcast. I'm your host, Adam Shively, the PhD, the previously heavy dude, and I'm on a 1 million pound mission. Now, I've personally lost over 100 pounds, and I've applied what I've learned from my own transformation journey to help my hometown clients lose over 35,000 pounds in just 5 years. Now I'm on a mission to produce over 1 million pounds of results by delivering my best weekly tips, motivation, inspirational stories, and transformation strategies so that you can gain clarity about what you need to do to reach your goals and give you the confidence to take action. And the perfect time to start taking action is right now. So let's do this.
What is up, million pound missionaries? You're probably thinking right now, who is this guy talking? This is not Adam's voice. This is somebody else. And you're absolutely right. So my name is Justin Shank. I actually host the Growth Now movement where Adam has been a guest on my show. And I've actually been a guest on this show. But this one's really, really special. This is the 100th episode. And Adam and I were talking, and we decided that the perfect way to celebrate 100 episodes is to interview the guy who is your leader, the guy who has put this whole entire mission together, the guy who has really been the driving force behind this world, losing 1 million pounds and getting healthy. So Adam, welcome to your own show, man.
Well, Justin, I thank you. It's an honor to be a guest on my own show here today. But no, like you said, I thought it was a cool idea. Like you're kind of my podcasting sensei. And I was like, what can we do for number 100? We kicked around a few ideas and we thought it'd be cool to flip the tables and let you just blast me away. There's no prep. You didn't, give me any insight into what the questions are like. So we're just going to kind of freestyle it. And I'm excited to be here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why it works for your show. And this is why your listeners tune in episode after episode. It's because you really know your stuff. Like you really know the information and you know things outside of your comfort zone too. Like, you're a keto guy, but you also know information for people who don't want to do keto. Like the knowledge that you have that surrounds the fitness space is worthy of you being a guest on your own show, if that makes sense. So how does somebody like you start to educate themselves on the different realms of health?
I think with me, it all starts with the passion to help other people. And it unravels from that. It's like, okay, well, how can I help this group of people or this type of person that's struggling with this certain issue? And I dive in to learn, and you just add tools to the toolbox as you go. And it's like scooping up water. And the more momentum I get, and the more people I'm able to help, and the more excited I get about it, I'm like, okay, now let's learn more. So you mentioned the keto thing, like that's relatively new to me, and I've been, researching it and testing and trying out different aspects of the ketogenic diet for the last almost year and a half now. And I just recently put out a program called Keto Done Right, and the test group just blew it up, and we're having great results in there. But it's more about, that initial interest that pushed me over the ledge to actually create a keto program wasn't from me and my own interest in it. It was because one of my clients was suffering with seizures, and she lost her driver's license, and she was, very upset because we can't figure out what is causing them, but we know that the ketogenic diet has helped a lot of people control their seizures. And I was like, okay, it's time to really lock in and let's help Linda out. And in that, we're going to develop a kick-ass keto program that's going to help a whole lot of other people out. So with me, it's about, what can I do to help the most people and learn about that and dive in head first and really experience it myself, and then take what I've learned and apply that to other people. Just like when I lost 100 pounds, I said, okay, that was a game changer. I'm going to help other people do that same thing. And that's what kicked off, the initial 35,000 pounds in my hometown, and then the 1 million pound mission that we're all on together. So it's all about the passion, learning, and just scooping up as much knowledge and helping as many people as possible.
Yeah, so let's go back to the knowledge and information gathering. How important was that to you in the beginning of your journey to lose 100 pounds, to sit down and dive in and see what works for you versus somebody else? Because I know now they're talking about blood type diets and what works for you and like all these crazy things. And I don't know if the blood type diet is a fad diet or whatever, but like how important was it to you when you started to sit down and really research, what works and what doesn't, instead of trying something and failing and then trying another thing and failing?
Well, it's interesting that you put it that way, because with me, even, now I'm almost 10 years from when I started losing weight. And 10 years ago, the internet wasn't where it was at today, but it was still going crazy. And, you could get lost on the internet with all the different, you should be on high carb, you should be on low carb, you should be on high fat, low fat, all the different opinions. And everybody's an expert, and it's very, very confusing. And it's easy. I fell into the trap all the time of kind of following one modality for a few weeks and then going, oh man, but this guy just wrote this awesome article and I trust him, so I'm going to try that program for another few weeks, and never really giving anything a solid chance. So I kind of spun my wheels a little bit initially, like a lot of people do. And then I just realized that the main thing that I needed to do was eat clean, be in the gym, sweating, and be consistent. And if I could do those three things, I knew I would start seeing results. So I had to just kind of minimalize everything and break it down and simplify it to those three things. Show up in the gym consistently, make sure that I've got my clean eating meal plan, nothing fancy. So I wasn't keto, I wasn't high carb, I wasn't low carb, I wasn't blood type, I wasn't Weight Watchers, I wasn't anything. It was like, get rid of crap and don't drink alcohol and get rid of sugar and go sweat. And just because with me, I'm very competitive, and it's so easy as a competitive person to get inside my own head. And we were talking about this before we went live about, that I'm not there yet syndrome. And, I have a goal to lose 100 pounds, but I'm not even under 300 yet. But I've lost 20 pounds, which is good, but I'm not there yet. So with me, I just had to go as simple as possible, and then just put my head down and put my hand in the dirt and say, let's get busy. Let's get to work and put in consistent work. So I wouldn't even like check in and weigh myself for 6 months at a time, because I just didn't want to tempt myself to shift gears at all. So I would just go in, do a little checkpoint, and then, put my head down again, get committed to a plan. And that's one of the advantages that I have as a coach now. I've been doing this for a long time, and I feel like I can help other people shorten that learning curve, because I can see patterns in what tends to throw them out of control and regain weight and things like that. Or I understand their danger zones a little bit better than they do a lot of times. And that's allowed me to, shorten the learning curve and say, okay, here's the exact path that I would recommend taking. Let's try this for the next, 30, 60, 90 days. Don't change anything, and I think we'll get great results. So it's been to my advantage to be somebody that's gone through that journey, and hopefully my clients and my tribe feel like it's an advantage for them as well.
Yeah, for sure. And so it's interesting for you to say, like, you didn't check in for 6 months at a time. So real quick answer to this question: how quickly or not so quickly were you losing weight with this consistent method?
To lose 100 pounds, that was a 3-year process for me. So it wasn't, a huge, like a sprint, like a 6-month thing. And, that was just me figuring it out. I had to figure it all out, where now, I had to figure it out in addition to filtering out all the confusing stuff that I was tempted to try. So that was like double hard. And it's even worse now for people. We had talked about my podcast episode I put out a couple of weeks ago about dealing with fitness podcast overwhelm. Like, that's a brand new danger zone that's actually brought about because of podcasts and the prevalence of podcasts being out there. People are skipping around programs, these different experts, and they'll try this special formula one week and then somebody else's program the next week, and they never get any results because they're just spinning the wheels trying different things. And so it's even worse now. So, my coaching style, my program, even this podcast is all about simplifying and like, let's focus on the fundamentals first. So it took me 3 years to lose 100 pounds. I've had 15 clients have lost over 100 pounds, and the average time span is 6 to 9 months. And so that's, that's the goal: simplify and shorten the learning curve, and just be willing to be coachable. And like I said, put your hand down in the dirt and get after it. That's how we do it.
Yeah. So you said you were able to kind of work with your clients and really kind of gear down to what works for them, what doesn't, what's keeping them on track, what's throwing them off track. Like, I'm somebody, when I'm more on my fitness routine, I like to weigh myself every day. And I know, I believe you're against that, but I like to do that because it keeps me on track. It reminds me every morning that that's my goal. When I don't weigh myself every day and I'm only weighing myself every 7 days, I actually get disappointed with the loss that may happen or may not happen. But when I'm doing it every day, it kind of keeps me on track to say, oh, wow, I didn't really lose anything, or I might have gained a little bit. And so now, I might give up or whatever, or I might even push myself further. So I need to keep myself on track going that way. So how are you able to scale that, right? So you went from just yourself and what worked for you. Now you're working with your people locally in your gym and what works with them. How are you able to scale that for the $1 Million Mission?
Well, first, I want to address the weighing thing, because that's something that I'm not necessarily against weighing yourself at any interval. What I'm against is if you weigh yourself and you change what you're going to do that day because of what the scale told you, that's the issue. So, for example, I have a client that I've coached through this process that she was weighing herself every day. And if she was down, then she would be a little more loose with her diet, because she's like, oh, I lost weight, I can eat this sugar or whatever. And then if she was up, she would almost eat nothing. And that's the issue. That's the issue more than, so if you weigh yourself and you change what you're doing, that's the problem that I try to help people get around, because that's a big time danger zone. So does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
Okay. So that's the first issue. Now, scaling my coaching style, the results to kind of make it fit for the $1 Million Mission, that's been a very interesting challenge. And, it's something where I just try to lean on people being coachable, finding the right people and saying, okay, I need you guys to trust me. And I try to earn their trust. So I just try to remind people, like, listen, I'm not a fitness celebrity. I'm not, out here filming videos in my Speedo with a waterfall behind me,
although we all wish you would.
I mean, most people wish that, but I'm not that guy. I'm a regular person that's done something pretty cool. I've lost 100 pounds. So I've been where you're at, and that's important. But I also try to layer on the credibility of, not only have I been where you're at, I've helped thousands of people achieve the same thing, to duplicate my results. There's so many fitness professionals out there. Like, the easiest way to spot a fitness phony is you go to their website, and if all you see is pictures of them, then who have they helped? That should be the thing. Like, you can't, if you go to transformationcoach.me, it's gonna be really hard to find a picture of my before and after on there. Like, the big thing you're going to see is my clients on display. Like, I've helped all these people. Yes, I've been there. I've lost 100 pounds, but I'm the person that's supposed to be in shape. I'm the leader of this transformation tribe, or the missionaries, if you've called them. That was awesome. But the thing is, like, if you can't transfer that knowledge to other people, then you're just an in shape person, and good for you. But don't try to trick somebody. That's one thing that irritates me about the fitness industry, is there's a lot of people out there going, hey, I know you want to look just like me, and that's okay. But if you don't actually help people get in shape, then you're just a phony, really. And that's something that has gotten a lot better over the past few years in fitness. I think people are getting much more serious about it, and consumers are more aware of it as well. Like, okay, I should be seeing a few results here, or some testimonials at least, So that's something I try to say, okay, I've been there, but also I've helped all these people. I've even put people on the phone with my clients before, like, listen, I want you to talk to Lisa. She's lost 150 pounds. Or I want you to talk to Brooke. She's lost 70 pounds. Or Mandy, she's lost 120 pounds. Like, I can just go through the Rolodex and say, if you don't trust me as a coach yet, I understand that. There's a lot of weird stuff out there in fitness land, but I got people that I can plug you into, or just on my Facebook group. A lot of people interact with all my clients on there. They're all on there. And so we try to build that credibility, because if I can't get somebody to be coachable, then I can't help them. If I can't get them to give up control, then I can't help them. That's harder if I'm not right there with you. Like, when I can look somebody in the eye and grab them and show them how to do an exercise, or just kind of get in their ear a little bit and give them some encouragement, that's one thing. But when we're doing this via Skype, or via conference line, or through a Facebook group, or through an online course, that's been a huge challenge, Justin. It's been a good one. It's been very, very interesting. And I put out some stuff that really sucked bad. When I went at the beginning of these online adventures, like my first My first, I don't know if I've told you this, my first membership, like my mom didn't even buy it. It was like $7. It was $7. I couldn't get my mom to spend $7 for my first course that I put out. And I was like, okay, there's a learning moment. And I've gotten better and better at listening to what people need instead of, things can be cool and things can be effective. I would like them to be both cool and effective, but if they're only cool, I can't do them. If it's not going to make an impact, then it makes no sense. It's me wasting my time being Mr. Cool. Like, oh, this would be a cool program to put out there. If no one is into it, if it's not going to help anybody, then, it's something that I've learned that I have to put my ego aside and be like, okay, this isn't what the people want right now. So we can't put any time into that. And we got to, dig in and really ask them what they want. So with my academy right now, I've got an online academy, and I've been doing these onboarding calls with everybody that's brand new. I get on the phone with them for 15 minutes. I spend a ton of time doing this, but it's so fruitful for me to talk to these people that live all over the country. And I go, okay, what's your top danger zone right now? Let's talk about that. And there's always something, just a little different twist. It's something new that I learn, and I'm bringing that into the show and the podcast. I'm bringing that into the programs I'm developing. And that's long-winded answer there. That's how I'm scaling this, is I'm bringing the credibility, but I'm really trying to stay connected and in tune with my audience. And like, I freak out when people send me an Instagram message or a Facebook message or email, and they're like, I listened to the show, and, thank you. I've lost weight, and here's a question. Like, I love that interaction. So I'm always encouraging people to do that, because that's the way I learn, and that's how I can improve everything. And that's how we scale it. And that's how we're going to hit our $1 million mission goal.
That's awesome, man. So I want to switch gears here for a minute. We're talking a lot about weight loss and hitting those goals. And then you just talked about like a failure, right? So you put out this course. It was only $7, which is like a latte and a half at Starbucks. So it was $7, and you didn't sell any of them. So what did you learn, and what are you implementing now for your courses more than anything as far as the launch goes, right? So the 15-minute call, cool. Like, that's a massive bonus, but that's not the course. That's just the beginning. What have you learned from that failure, and what are you implementing now into your business structure?
So the initial product I put out was a membership, and I knew that I wanted to create, I'm big on community, because that's what's made my local program such a success. We have a tight-knit community. We call it our gym family, and it's tight, and people are in it together. And that sense of being in it together is important in fitness and in goal achieving in general. So I knew that a community, a membership, that's where I wanted to go. Where I went wrong with it was more about, I would put out a series of videos every month that were topical based off of what I thought people needed to hear. And that's where I went wrong. I needed to focus on what I'm hearing from people and what they wanted to hear. And that was the complete game changer. So I put out all these surveys, and I created my Facebook group, and I survey them, and we do polls, and I just talk to people, and I rebuilt something, and they're like, we need programs. Like, we need, they're like, okay, you're the motivation guy. You're the let's overcome the danger zone guy. But we want your programs too. We want your fitness expertise. We want your nutrition expertise. Because I wasn't giving any of that. I'm like, oh, they can get that anywhere. And it was a little bit of an ego trip for me going, I can help anybody from any program get better results. And I still feel that way just by implementing some of the tactics, like my cheat bank formula, or using the amazing results formula. Any of those little tools that I've got, I feel like we can apply those across the board. But people were like, I need the full package. I need to know what you want me to eat, how you want me to exercise, and I need new stuff. I get sick of the same, my 90-day program DVDs. It's the same thing over and over again. I need new stuff. So that I took all that, I tried out a few different things, and eventually we ended up at the Transformed Academy, where now it's a monthly membership. People get in there, and we're doing the coaching calls together. They get a new program every 90 days. I mean, it's exactly what people asked me to create. I sent out survey after survey, help me create this. How can I create the thing that you need the most? And I just did that. I just listened to them, and I'm like, okay,
awesome.
That's what I'm going to do. And I had to learn a bunch, because I am a meat head. I lift weights. Like the whole back end of a website, it was the most intimidating. It's like nuclear science for me. And I learned how to do like videos and how to upload videos. And honestly, Justin, one of the, like, people think I put out a lot of content right up to this point. Let me tell you something. A huge thing has happened in my life where my wife and I have moved into town. So we are selling our farm out in the country. We're moving into town, and the big upgrade is the internet. There's this thing called the internet, and it's fast. So like, I would record a 5-minute video, like a workout video, any video. I would hit upload and I would go to sleep, and it would be done in the morning for 5 minutes, Justin. It was unbelievable. And now it's done in like 15 seconds, and I can upload another video and another video. So you think I'm a content machine already. Just you wait, my friends. Now I have the internet. It's going to be amazing.
That's awesome. That is absolutely incredible, man. And I think it will. I mean, it'll definitely help your business for sure, just out of sheer time, right? So you can upload multiple videos a day and so on and so forth. So here we are on your 100th episode. Just saying that, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say you're on your 100th episode?
It's an honor to just be around, because I know, like, what's the stat? I mean, you have this, you're the stat guy. What's the stat with the barrier that most podcasts don't even cross? Is like 7 episodes or something like that?
73% of episodes at launch don't make it past their first 7 episodes.
That's crazy. So I'm not somebody that's going to invest 100 episodes in something that I don't care about. So I'm very proud, and I'm very honored that people are listening. And not only are they listening, they're sharing. And they're, you know, one of the coolest things that we've talked about before between you and I is that I'm seeing people, like, my numbers start going up in weird ways. And then I go back and I'll look at older episodes, and all those numbers are way up. So people are going back to the beginning and binge listening all the way through. Like, I had an individual named Jason who just joined my Defeat the Cheat Facebook group. Shout out to Jason. He messaged me, and he just joined a couple of weeks ago. He's like, I'm on episode 63, working my way forward. I've listened to them all. This is awesome. I'm like, holy cow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And so, and that happens a lot. And I just feel like, okay, you know, I'm not the flashiest person. I'm not, like I said, I'm not that fancy fitness guru guy, but I'm doing something right because people are checking out the info, and it's making a difference. And, you know, I'm getting a lot of really kind feedback from the show. So, you know, and, you know, I put out an episode right around, it was probably three months ago. It's right after we had met, Justin. It was, you know, I had thought about not podcasting anymore because I was just hitting some stress points, and I was like, I don't know. And I feel like it was kind of that divine intervention that I bump into somebody like you at, you know, at that point in my life when I'm thinking about actually stopping. And then I bump into you, and you take my podcast to a whole new level through your coaching and mentorship. And now just to see where it's come, how far it's come from, you know, where it was 3 months ago to now, and all the opportunities that it's been brought to my doorstep. Like, I just feel really, really, really lucky. So, yeah, you know, shout out to you and what you've done for the show and how you've helped me. But it's, you know, it's incredible to think that, you know, I could put 100 of these out there. Just a normal dude, the PhD, the previously heavy dude from Bloomington, Indiana, out here, you know, just in my home office and blasting out what I've learned, and people are still listening. It's pretty damn cool.
So, like, it was funny that you said the PhD and you gave your tagline, the previously heavy dude, because I was just about to say that. I looked up down and I wanted to make sure I said it right, because the previously word would throw me off. It's too long of a word for me to say. Let's be honest. So PhD, the previously heavy dude, right? So you were 100 pounds heavier, or more than 100 pounds heavier than you are now.
Yep.
You've lived in this new skin for a long time. So I think sometimes we emotionally remove ourselves away from something after we've been doing it for so long, right? And so, you know, I've been doing my podcast for 2 years, and I emotionally remove myself away from things like ranking up and doing those types of things, when I should just live in the moment and understand the small wins and kind of do all that stuff. Something I'm not good at. Do you ever think back to yourself, you know, 100 pounds ago, and you know, just really kind of live in that feeling for a little bit and be like, wow, I really accomplished something on a personal level?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's something that I feel like it's important to do that so I can best serve my clients, is to stay connected to that place that I've come from. And again, some people would say, it's almost an advantage for me because there are a lot, there's a new show that's out where, Fit to Fat to Fit, where the guy's like, well, I was a fit trainer and then I gained a bunch of weight to understand what my clients go through. And then I lose the weight together with them. Right. And that's a cool concept, but it's like, dude, I lived it, man. Like I was just fat to fit. I don't need to go back. I'm never going back, So it's a little bit.
Or you could one up him and be fat to fit to fat to fit.
And just keep going, as many times.
That's what I do.
I can out fat your fit. Let's do this. It's just important that they know that I know where they're coming from, and I have to stay. Like I said, I have to stay connected to that. And it's cool because I continue to push my body in different ways and challenge myself and continue to learn. And like my weight, I don't weigh myself. I haven't weighed myself in several years now, but I know kind of what I look like, what I feel like. When I weigh around 215 to 220 pounds, I can pretty accurately go and step on a scale and I'll be right there. Now, since diving into the keto program, I have lost weight. I would say I may very well be under 200 pounds right now. And I haven't weighed under 200 pounds since high school, 1999. So almost 20 years ago. And I actually, for the first time, when you lose a lot of weight, you'll have people that will say things like, oh, you're losing too much weight. You're getting skinny. You look unhealthy. And I haven't had anybody say anything like that to me. I've been maintaining my weight for several years now. And the other day, like some of the clients are like, you're losing too much weight. You're losing weight again. You need to be careful. So it brought back a lot of those feelings. I'm like, wow, I haven't had anybody say that in so long. And it all comes from, they mean well by that. But they're seeing like my sweatshirt and my sweatpants kind of getting baggy on me and like, are you okay? And I'm like, yes, I'm okay. I'm fully invested in the ketogenic diet and it's really kicking some ass right now. I'm losing a lot of body fat really fast. And I'm just I'm just fully invested in that. So it's something that the journey never ends. You always need to have that next goal that you want to accomplish, but it's so important to turn back and say, I'm proud of where I've come from. And that's the balance that I think we all fight with a little bit. But if we can find that nice little balance, it's like rocket fuel for your soul to be proud of where you came from and be motivated by your goals. That's the sweet spot where we want to be.
Do you ever slip up?
Define a slip up, like cheating on the diet?
Cheat on the diet, and then once you cheat on the diet, it might last a couple days, and then you're like, oh, shit, I really got to get back into play. And then actually, if you don't do that, do you think if you owned a gym and you weren't helping these other people get there, would it be easier for you to slip?
That's interesting. So I don't slip up on the food. The food is it's almost like I am scared of the digestive repercussions if I don't stay tight on my diet. I'm like, oh my God, I'll be on the toilet for a week and I won't be able to work. Like that's literally it scares me into never cheating on the diet, because I did a challenge that started it's almost 3.5 years ago where I was like, I'm not going to cheat on my diet. I'm not going to eat any processed food. I'm not going to eat any sugar. It was initially for a year. And ended up being 1,000 days straight. And as I did that, it's like my willpower just went through the roof. Like you could put anything you want in front of me. Like you get Fabio Viviani, world famous chef, who is now both of our friend. You could put him in front of me and he could put any food in front of me and it wouldn't be a big deal. Wouldn't be a big deal. Like I could handle whatever. And,
challenge accepted.
Exactly.
We're planning a trip to Chicago. So yes. Fabio, if you're listening to this episode, we're coming to hang out at your restaurant and make Adam the most delicious thing on the planet and put it in front of him. Challenge accepted. And this will be video recorded and put it on the internet to see.
It'll be my Jedi moment. You shall see. You shall see. So the area where I honestly tend to, if I'm going to define a slip up as kind of going rogue on program, is with my workouts. It's something as I get busier with the podcast, as I get busier with my online brand, my fitness facility. I've got 25 team members that I've got to be plugged into with my fitness facility. And it's more of just time management. I might have to either shorten a workout. I try to make the best decision that I can make each day. and make the most of the time that I've got. But one day, like last week, I've got a pretty set regimen. Like I work out Monday through Friday, and I take Saturday, Sunday off and do mobility and recovery and things like that. So I had to miss Wednesday because I had just a nutty schedule with a ton of phone calls. And I'm like, I've got to run payroll and do all this stuff. So I need to wake up at 5 and do that instead of working out. And I just had to be okay with that because each week will present its own set of circumstances. And, the time management sometimes, will impact our ability to work out. Because that's the thing we have to put in time doing. Like it's an extra time thing. With nutrition, like we have to eat. And that's just a decision of whether I'm going to put the right food in my mouth or not. So that's more of a decision. That doesn't take me any extra time. With exercise, it becomes a time issue sometimes. And that's where I'll go a little bit rogue, or I'll take a recovery week. I always listen to my body. I've been injured enough times that if something feels a little bit off, I'll be like, okay, I stop doing that immediately. And now I just kind of work on some mobility for maybe a few days or even a week. So that's where I've had to learn to be just easy, not easy, but just to give myself a little bit of slack of, okay, I'm doing a lot of stuff right now, and there's no deadline. I don't have a competition out in front of me. Like I have to do this by this date. And I'm like, right now I have to make sure that I'm healthy, I'm flexible, my body's operating well. And as long as those key checkbox are being checked off, then we're good. And that way I can still spend enough time doing what I need to do to impact people and coach people and inspire people.
And I know you do a lot of tip giving on this episode. It's not always about the stories. It's really about what are key takeaways that people can listen to your episode and then implement into their life and really either begin the journey or continue the journey. So in one sentence, what would you say to somebody who wants to begin a fitness journey, but they've tried and failed so many times? What would you say to them to motivate them? And then also, so one sentence, how to motivate them. And then what can they do beginning today to start it?
All right. One sentence would be, you have to make sure that your why is bigger than all of your why nots combined. That's the way we get something done. Point blank. If it's not big enough, the why nots win. And that's where you try something and fail. You try something and fail because your why wasn't big enough. That's with any goal. So, and to implement that right away, I mean, you need to spend some time. And there's an exercise I've talked about on the show before. I did an episode on this. I got it from Dean Graziosi called Find Your Why 7 Levels Deep. So simply, you take a goal. So if your goal is to lose 20 pounds, all right, why? You continue to ask yourself why for 7 levels until you get to something emotional that you connect. Like I had an individual that, he wanted to lose 70 or 80 pounds. And I asked him why, and he's like, well, I want to get off my blood pressure medicine and get my blood sugar in check. Well, why? Well, my doctor says I'm at risk for all these certain things. Okay. Well, what's the why behind that? Well, I want to, my wife's on my case because my doctor's making her nervous. Well, what's the why behind that? And we just kept on going, and it got down to the point of, he wants to be there for his grandkids when they graduate high school and college. He wants to dance with his granddaughter at her wedding. He starts crying. And I'm like, okay. And guess what? He lost 80 pounds. Like that, it happened legit. And it's because his why was deep and it was bigger than any why not that was in front of him. And so that's what I tell people. And that's the way you get it done.
Awesome, man. I love that. And I swear this is not set up, but I wanted to wrap up this show. The only thing I wrote down for this episode is I want to wrap up with this question. Why is this mission so important to you?
Good question. Master interviewer, Justin Shank. Okay. So I believe in making an impact, and I feel like it's important. Like, I don't want to be the guy that just goes through the motions and just makes money as a fitness guy. Like, oh, he's the guy that makes money. And I don't care about being famous. I don't care about being rich. I value things based off of impact. So with, the 1 Million Pound Mission, I thought, I'm like you. I like to set big goals that scare me, and I like to do things that are way outside my comfort zone. And I'm like, you know what? If I set this goal and I put it out there and I'm accountable to that, and I've hinted at this before, but we are very close. Maybe even by the time this launches or within the month, we're going to have the tracker, the ticker. It's going to be live on the website.
Yes, I was going to ask you that.
Yes, the $1 Million Mission. It's like we figured out how to do it, and we have to try to figure out how to make sure people can't like screw it up and rig it and be, a-holes about it. But I think we've got it figured out where people will be able to go on and donate their weight loss and contribute. And I've had so many people that Facebook message me like, I just contributed 7 pounds to the $1 Million Mission. Thank you. And I'm like, just remember that because I'm going to have the ticker going soon. So I'm accountable to that. And I'm excited to lead people on this journey, but it's not about me. It's about them, and it's about their own journey. And it's about us all being a part of this together. Like that's my favorite part is the community. And I love the interaction, and I love my Facebook group, and I love my academy members. I just love knowing that, if I'm going to spend time where like right now I'm very busy, and I know that I'm missing some important stuff with my family, like with my kids and with my wife, but I promise them, I'm like, listen, I'm getting this figured out. I'm getting things streamlined, but I promise you, if daddy isn't here to put you to bed, it's because he's helping change people, and he's helping people. And I try, it's hard to explain that to a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old, but I feel like they get it. They understand that their dad is helping people and he's making a difference. It's not, I'm not out the bar with my bros or anything like that. It's like, I'm with them or I'm helping people. Those are the two things that I do. And that's what I'm passionate about. So it means a lot to me that there is a tangible goal, but it means more to me that we've got a community and we've got synergy and we're doing this together. And Justin, honestly, I can't wait to see where we're at when we hit episode 200. And it's, who knows? So it's very, very exciting time right now.
Big things happening for you, Adam, and the $1 Million Mission, of course. And I'm just excited to see where it goes. Obviously, it's been a journey for you over the first 100 episodes, just like it was a journey over the first 100 pounds. And so I'm excited to see where the $1 million go in the next 1 million episodes. I will let you wrap it up because you do it so smoothly. So, Adam, take it away.
First off, I want to thank you, Justin. And, you stepping in and being a part of the 100th episode means a lot to me because, honestly, you saved this podcast. You indirectly or directly, however you choose to look at it, are going to help produce thousands of pounds of weight loss by keeping me going. So I want you to take pride in that, brother, because that is something that's pretty damn cool. So you're making an impact on this mission. I think that's something that you need to be acknowledged for. And, so that's something I'm very, very appreciative of. So, that's important to get out there. But I want everybody to check out Justin's show as well. The Growth Now Movement. Subscribe to that beast. You will not be disappointed. He rocks it. So, as Justin has alluded to, every show, one thing we want to do is challenge people to take action. So, maybe you have a big goal. You've got a big dream. My challenge to you is to put it out there. Just put it out there. When I I changed the name of the podcast to the $1 Million Mission. I'm like, that's putting it out there. So I challenge you guys to do the same. It may not be on that scale. If you've wanted to achieve something, stop wanting and let's start doing. Let's get it out there and let's achieve it together. So that'd be my challenge to you. And, what we always talk about, the way I've closed 100 episodes now, is I want you to get out there. I want you to own it. I want you to own it every meal, every workout, every day. And here's to the next 100 episodes. We'll see you on the next show. Pump your brakes, my friend. There's more. I want to do something extra special to just put a cherry on top of our celebration Sunday with the episode 100. I appreciate everybody that listens in at the end. This is where I usually talk about things going on and how you get involved working with me. So I appreciate those that listen all the way through. So you guys are the hardcores. Here's what I want to do. The first 10 people that tag me on Instagram, you can be in your Instagram story, you can be in your regular Instagram feed. Just tag me on Instagram and tell me about your favorite episode of the first 100. First 10 people that do that will get a free month inside my Transformed Academy. All right, so first 10 people that tag me on Instagram that tell me what their favorite episode was and what they learned from that episode of the first 100 will get a free month inside my Transformed Academy. I can't wait to see what you guys are liking, which episode is your favorite, and I will see you inside Instagram. We'll get you inside that academy. You're going to love it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.